colleagues and friends, it is again a great honour to be with you today, and thank you for the opportunity to join you at this important conference on the 1988 massacre in Iran. I want to begin by commending the Iranian resistance movement and its president-elect, Maryam Rajavi, for spearheading the global campaign to secure justice for the victims of the 1988 massacre in Iran and their families who've been waiting for over 3 decades to see those responsible being prosecuted for their undoubted crimes. I also want to address directly the victims of the regime in Iran, both inside Iran and abroad, who are listening and taking part in this conference today, and assure them that their voices are being heard here in the UK and in the UK Parliament. We will continue to raise this issue with our government until justice is served and seen to be done. With regards to the 1988 massacre in Iran, the international community and the United Nations have truly failed the Iranian people and their moral obligations as the vanguards and advocates of human rights. In this regard, we've already seen some movement from our allies in the United States. On the 17th of July, the spokeswoman on behalf of the United States Department of State highlighted the 1988 massacre of political prisoners by mentioning the role of death commissions in carrying out these mass executions, and said, instead of upholding justice, the Iranian judiciary oppresses and violates human rights. We urge the international community and individual governments to provide accountability and pursue justice for the regime's many victims. My colleagues and I in the United Kingdom House of Commons addressed exactly this issue in a parliamentary motion in 2016. 80 cross-party members of parliament supported the motion that I co-sponsored. That motion said that this House urges the United Kingdom government to recognise and condemn this brutal massacre as a crime against humanity, and ask the United Nations Human Rights Commissioner, Human Rights Council, the General Assembly and the Security Council to order an investigation and bring the perpetrators to justice. Now, with this parliamentary support, the United Kingdom government has the right incentives to take actions on the 1988 massacre in Iran at the United Nations by introducing the demand for an international independent investigation into the 1988 massacre and the prosecution of the perpetrators into the United Nations resolution on Iran, which is currently being drafted right now and is expected to be adopted by the United Nations General Assembly later this year. Now, this is a chance for the United Kingdom to boost its credentials at the United Nations after our exit from the European Union and reaffirm its position as a force for good on the international scene. I urge the United Kingdom government to take this opportunity and show true British leadership at the United Nations. I will continue to stand with you and support the NCRI, who works on your behalf until we have secured justice for the victims of the 1988 massacre and brought those responsible for this crime against humanity to account. I end with a plea to the United Kingdom government to prescribe the IRGC in its entirety and to sequestrate their assets so they can no longer pursue their claimed gain to literally divide the Iranian community and carry on their propaganda, carry on their terrorism against those who are innocent victims and just want to live in peace and harmony and restore democracy to Iran, and to ensure that the Iranian people can feel represented by a government of their own choosing. So I stand with you and with all members of the NCRI in supporting Maryam Rajavi and her supporters to bring this to an end.